All right, so Twitter has finally appointed resident grievance officer. Vinay Prakash has been appointed as Twitter's grievance officer, and the social media giant has also given Bengaluru address for communication. So this seems to be another big step towards compliance of new IT rules. Remember, in the past, the government has consistently given warnings to Twitter, and the latest being from the new IT minister, Ashwini Vaishnav, who said that law of the land should be abided by everyone. For more on this, I'm joined by Mohit Sharma on the broadcast. Mohit, thank you for joining us. The latest is Twitter has finally appointed a grievance officer. For the benefit of our viewers, could you give more details as far as this appointment is concerned, and at what step is it as far as compliance of new IT rules is concerned?
By the new IT rules, Twitter and all social media platforms were supposed to appoint 3 officers. Now, these would be the chief compliance officer, who would ensure all compliance of the rules and regulations of law of the land. And second would come in the grievance officer, who would essentially ensure that any kind of problems that the users have or is escalated by the government, that is taken care of with immediate effect. And third would have been a nodal contact person, who would essentially ensure that the government's communication with the nodal officer is continued through the same as well. Now, Twitter had initially appointed certain interim officers for 3 posts. The government of India, of course, had said that this is something that cannot be undertaken as mentioned in the IT rules, which were passed earlier in the year in February 2021. And since then, there has been quite a confrontation between the government and Twitter ongoing. Now, Twitter, while deposing in front of the Honorable Delhi High Court, had on 8th of July already said so that they have already appointed a chief compliance officer as of 6th of July. And they were in the process of appointing a new grievance officer, and the same will be appointed by 11th of July, and that is today. And today, as they had disposed, as they had submitted in the Honorable Delhi High Court, they have in fact appointed. Now, Twitter had in fact also sought 2 weeks of notice for ensuring that a nodal officer can also be appointed. So that on that front, Twitter's compliance is still pending. A nodal officer is yet to be appointed. However, as per the submission, Twitter had in fact asked for at least 2 weeks' time to ensure that all the formalities are done and a new nodal officer can be appointed as well, along with the liaison office, setting up of a liaison office as well. So all of those things could take another 2 weeks, but definitely this is a step in ensuring that firstly, this compliance of the new IT rules is maintained, and secondly, going by what Twitter has been maintaining, that they do comply by the rules of the land. So that would also come into play here. It remains to be seen as to who exactly would be the nodal officer. But as of now, what we can tell you is that a new grievance officer in the name of Mr. Vinay Prakash has been appointed. An office address has also been given by Twitter in order to ensure that people who have queries, people who have grievances can directly approach Twitter via its website, via its Twitter handles, or through emails as well. And it remains to be seen whether the government of India would be happy by this latest appointment or not. Previously, as you were also mentioning, Ashwini Vaishnav, the new IT minister, had in fact gone ahead and said that the compliance of the Indian rules and regulations is foremost. That is something that is of supreme in nature and must be complied with. So, of course, it remains to be seen whether the government, all of this is something that is to the liking of the government of India and the rules which have been formed. But clearly, Twitter slowly and steadily complying by the new IT rules and regulations.
All right, thank you, Mohit, for bringing us up to speed with that very important development. Remember, there was a standoff between the government and Twitter over its non-compliance with new IT rules, and now Twitter has finally appointed its grievance officer. Vinay Prakash has been named as Twitter's new resident grievance officer.